नमस्कार मंडळी, स्वागत आहे तुमचं आजच्या भागात, ज्याचं नाव आहे दुबई डाग, ज्यातून आपण करतो दुबईतल्या आपल्या महाराष्ट्रीयन लोकांची विचारपूस आणि जाणून घेतो त्यांचे दुबईतले सेटअप्स. गेल्या काही एपिसोड्सपासून आपण अशा व्यक्तींना भेटतोय ज्यांनी आपले सेटअप्स दुबईतसुद्धा चालू केले आहेत आणि त्यांचे इंडियामध्ये सुद्धा ऑफिसेस आहेत. तर जाणून घेऊया आजच्या भागात अशाच एका व्यक्तिमत्वाला. तुम्हाला काय वाटतं, तुमचा डाटा नक्की सिक्युअर आहे का? मग तो फोन असो, लॅपटॉप असो, किंवा तुमचा इंस्टाग्रामचा डेटा, फेसबुकचा डेटा किंवा नॉर्मल सोशल मीडियाचा डेटा आहे. हा डेटासुद्धा सिक्युअर नाही. जाणून घेऊया त्याच्या मागचं नक्की कारण काय आहे आणि डेटा सिक्युरिटी नक्की काय आहे. AMS सर्व्हिसेसच्या माध्यमातून आपल्याला डेटा सिक्युरिटी देणाऱ्या आपल्या नाविद सरांना आपण आज भेटणार आहोत. तर नमस्कार, खूप खूप स्वागत आहे तुमचं आजच्या या कार्यक्रमात. कसं वाटतंय तुम्हाला आज इथे येऊन?
खूप छान वाटतंय.
नक्कीच नक्कीच. आता तुम्ही एक वेगळा विषय आमच्याकडे घेऊन आला आहात. म्हणजे मला तरी असं वाटतंय की डाटा सिक्युरिटीबाबत सध्या अजून बरेच लोक अवेअर नाही आहेत, किंवा असं म्हणू शकतो की कोणी बोलत नाही याच्याबाबत. ठीक आहे, मेडिकलबाबत आपण बरंच बोलतो, किंवा एज्युकेशनल आपण बऱ्याच गोष्टी असं बोलतो, वायफळ बडबडसुद्धा असतेच. पण डाटा सिक्युरिटीसाठी अजून कोणी असं मला सिरियस टॉक्स करताना दिसले नाही आहेत. तर आम्हाला सांगा की डाटा सिक्युरिटी म्हणजे नक्की काय आहे आणि तुमची AMS सर्व्हिसेस जी आहे ह्यासाठी ती नक्की काय आहे?
डाटा सिक्युरिटी हा जो आहे तो लेस टॉक्ड अबाउट सब्जेक्ट आहे. तर टिल नाव जास्त लोकांनी काय बोललं नाही त्याच्याशी. बट नाव द ट्रेंड इज गोईंग. सो वॉट इज हॅपनिंग नाव इज when you're talking about data security, earlier data was restricted to certain environments, right? They were in pockets. पण आता डाटा सिक्युरिटी म्हणजे इट इज ॲक्च्युली युनिव्हर्सल. कारण की तुम्ही जर का 90च्या दशेत IT ला तुम्ही जर का इफ यू थिंक अबाउट इट 90 or 2000, then IT was not at such a large scale, right? So everybody was talking. Think about it, right? When we were small, how did you talk? We used to go to the neighbor's house और वहाँ से फ़ोन आता था हमको, यार आपका फ़ोन आया 5 बार कॉल करना. Now it is not that way. Now you think about the ease of internet, and your entire magnum of things have changed over a period of time. Why has this happened is because technology has become very easy to use, right? That is one aspect. The other aspect, whenever you get anything, that comes with a lot of side dishes, I like to call it, right? A lot of side dishes come along with it. So one of the side dishes that we have to look at is security. Think about it, my mother or my grandmother or your grandmother, जर का त्यांना सांगितलं असेल की तुमचा फ्रीज आम्ही इंटरनेटवर कनेक्ट करू,
इवन टुडे दे कॅन नॉट बिलीव्ह सर्टन थिंग्स लाईक, आम्हाला विश्वास बसत नाही की एवढा पुढेपर्यंत फोन म्हणा किंवा काही म्हणा की लोक घाबरायचे आधी फोनला. हे कसं वाचतंय, हे कसं मी बोलू,
हे कसं वाचतंय, कसं मी बोलू, राईट? पण आता जे जेनझी आहेत त्यांना त्याच्याशिवाय काय, दे डोंट अंडरस्टँड एनिथिंग. दे जस्ट नो दिस इज राईट व्हेरी इझी. सो नाव द पीपल एज ऑफ AI इज कमिंग अँड एव्हरीथिंग, राईट? सो नाव विथ ऑल ऑफ दिस डेटा फ्लोइंग entire world, right? So the most important part is how do you maintain privacy, right? How do you ensure my data is secure?
Right. It's more about
That's more about privacy, more about data security. That's why a lot of data security, privacy standards, all of that has come up. So it's a very critical subject, and I think everybody needs to take it very seriously.
right. And what about AMS services?
AMS services primarily started off as so I have been in the IT for such some time, since 95, 96, right? So I've been doing a lot of things in security, a data center, setting up data centers, in somewhat cyber security migration. So I've worked with a few clients known as Royal Bank of Scotland. I've worked with Deutsche Bank. I was associated with major brands as in Dubai I was working with Etisalat. I was working for Du. Then we were working for major share firms also over here, right? So across the globe I've been associated for a very long time. And around 2017, after doing a few things, I said, चलो कुछ अपने पे करते हैं, देखते हैं कुछ काबिलियत है क्या करने की.
You always have to try that thing, and after that you will see the result.
So that's the thing, right? So my motto is very simple: change is the only constant, right? So always you have to be ensure that you are changing, because until you challenge yourself, you will not know. So you keep on challenging, you keep on changing, and then you'll come to know, अरे मैं ये भी कर सकता हूँ, right? This is always the thing that is there. So with that thought in mind, in 2017-18, we started off with AMS services, right? Now AMS service, after AMS started off, I started off actually as a single loaner with one more fresher with me, right? Initial thought was we'll do cybersecurity, some part of managed services, and project-based approaches, right? So we were lucky enough in the COVID and all, we survived, we got through all of that phase. And now we are around 15-20 people strong, having locations in India, Singapore. We are looking to scale up to Dubai also. So we have some collaborations over here also, right? So AMS actually plays a very crucial role. So we've done work for very big clients. In India, we worked with Indian Oil Corporations. We've done with IRCTC, Railtel. Yeah, so we've done some work for Cognizant. We've done work for big clients like Wipro. We are partners with the Tata folks. So we have done a few bit of work here and there, right? So we have some expertise in that area, you would like to say.
Definitely. So what kind of education you have taken for this particular thing? Like for data security, you have did any courses?
So basically, after doing my diploma in engineering, right? What I did was, since I was in this, one thing about IT, you have to understand, every day the landscape is changing. So what was valid yesterday is not valid today. What is valid today is not valid tomorrow. I was talking with a very good friend of mine, and मैं उसको बोल रहा था कि यार ये क्या रोज challenges आ रहे हैं, right? आणि काय करायचं हे रोजचं चॅलेंजचं. My friend is there, he gets up every day at 6:30 in the morning and he studies every day for 2 hours. And this he's been doing since 97.
Oh my God.
And he's still continuing doing that. So that is how evolving the landscape is. You just sit down and you say, not every landscape is so evolving as IT. I think that's the most evolved landscape. That's it's the biggest threat landscape, I'd like to call it, the IT guys, right? Because if you don't keep up with the landscape, you don't keep up with technology, you're outdated.
Yes, right.
So for us to learn every day is a must, and to do that we've done a lot of things, hands-on experience, learning about technologies, see how the technology moves. We've done a lot of things on the ground, so we are a little bit aware of how things move in the technology sector. After that, we did a lot of course in cybersecurities. We got up to speed, right? And that's how we know a few things here and there.
Yes, right. Because of technology, we have to upgrade ourselves.
You have to upgrade.
So AMS services जे आहे आपलं, ह्याच्या मागून आपण कोणकोणत्या सर्व्हिसेस प्रोव्हाइड करतो?
AMS सर्व्हिसमध्ये 3 टॉवर्स आहेत. तो अगोदरचा टॉवर जो आहे तो मॅनेज सर्व्हिस म्हणून टॉवर आहे. त्या टॉवरमध्ये आम्ही पूर्ण IT इन्फ्रास्ट्रक्चर, क्लाउड असो किंवा ऑन प्रेम असो, ते आम्ही पूर्ण मॅनेज करतो क्लायंटसाठी. देर वी हॅव अ डेडिकेटेड टीम, तो मॅनेज करतो. दुसरा टॉवर जो आहे दॅट इज प्युअरली बेस्ड ऑन प्रोजेक्ट्स फॉर इम्प्लिमेंटेशन्स. So be it migration of services of Vodafone, be it migration of services for other clients, data center migrations, or implementations for large scale, be it migrations from cloud to cloud migrations or on-prem to cloud or whatever, right? So that comes under the projects tower. So that's a different tower that we have. And then we have a tower purely focused on the cybersecurity aspect.
Do we have any levels for the cybersecurity?
Yeah. Lot of levels, lot of things. I'm sure we don't want to get into too much details over here. Yeah, it's a huge thing. I'll give you one example, not of a cybersecurity, but give you one example. Recently, I was in a meetup for data center in Mumbai, right, where all the industry veterans and all that come. So, for the users of India who are using internet services, what was told was only 2% of those services are being served from India data centers. Only 2% of that. So now you think of where we are, maybe 1.5 billion or 2 billion, whatever we are in India. That needs to go scale up to at least 30, 40, 50, 50 billion. So think about the growth that we are looking at from a data center perspective. Think about the growth we're looking at a services perspective. Now, if all of this is growing, तर काय होणार, तो security will also need to increase. जर काय तो गेला नाही तर तुमचा डेटा चोरी होणार आणि तो प्रॉब्लेम येणार तुम्हाला.
Right. So, where it is located, your office?
My office is located in Pune, in Kondwa, and we have one sales office in Singapore.
Okay, so tell me about your top 3 brands.
आमचा जो आम्ही जे काम करता ना, तो we work in 2 fashions, right? One, we work directly with customers also, and then we work with collaborators also. We have a lot of collaboration with partners. Sir, medical space मध्ये आमचा एक मेडिकल इंडस्ट्रीचा मोठा क्लायंट आहे आमचं. तो अर्लियर वी हॅड वन क्लायंट, वी आर कंटिन्यू विथ दॅट क्लायंट. वी हॅव ऑनबोर्डेड वन मोर क्लायंट, राईट, who was into medicine manufacturing. So for that client, we are providing entire services for managed services, security, and all of that. So that's a good client for us. From a partnership perspective, like I said, we have multiple partners, right? In India, we are partnered with major brands, and for that partner also, we are doing a lot of continual effort and continual work, which is there. We've also worked with brands like Wipro. We also worked with brands like Symantec through white labeling partnership. Right, so that's also worked very well for us.
So different fields, different work, and different, like you work for the corporate as well, and you work for the government as well, in India, in Singapore, here in Dubai. So have you any experienced something like this is interesting, very interesting, and असा काही एक्सपिरियन्स आहे की जो तुम्हाला आमच्यासोबत शेअर करावासा वाटतं?
तो कसं असतं ते, एव्हरी डिलिव्हरी, डिप्लॉयमेंट, एंगेजमेंट हा युनिक असतं. अँड फॉर एव्हरी डिलिव्हरी अँड एव्हरी डिप्लॉयमेंट इट हॅज a unique set of challenges, and there is a satisfaction in those challenges when you solve those challenges. जर का लाईफमध्ये चॅलेंजेस नसलं तर आय मीन यू डोंट हॅव एनी रिझन टू गेट अप, राईट? सो दॅट्स वॉट ॲज अन IT guy any guy you professionally look at. So what happens is for these specific things there are many ways that we did, right? Interesting things that we have done is actually, I'll tell you one thing, right? So that was very interesting for me. When we started off, right, वो अर्ली डेज थे, तर आम्ही एक डेटा सेंटर मायग्रेशन करत होतो फॉर आवर क्लायंट नोन ॲज वोडाफोन. तो डेटा सेंटर मायग्रेशन मीन्स वी हॅड टू मूव फायरवॉल्स फ्रॉम वन डेटा सेंटर टू अ डिफरंट, and then there was a timeline. So we were it was a very stringent and tight timelines. People thought it could not be done. But then good effort, planning, execution, ratar jagna, and we were very lucky that that helped us as a partner, right? So these are the sort of conditions that we work on, and we like thrive on those conditions.
So as you said earlier that you have worked for the Singapore, Dubai and India too. So ह्या सगळ्यांमध्ये इंटरनॅशनली वर्क करताना तुमचा काही असा वेगळा एक्सपिरियन्स आहे? लाईक इंटरनॅशनली अजून कोणत्या कोणत्या कंपनीजसोबत तुम्ही काम केलं आहे आता इथे दुबईत?
दुबईमध्ये जसं सांगितलं मी ॲक्च्युली एतिसलात बरोबर थोडं काम केलं आहे, बरोबर थोडं काम केलं आहे, आणि एक 2-3 कंपनीज आहे, मी त्याचं नाव घेऊ शकत नाही because of a certain NDA parameters. So we have worked with our partners for delivering value to them. And these experiences in Dubai have been great fun experiences in Dubai. And we are looking for more such opportunities and fun for working in Dubai.
How do you manage your work locally and internationally?
Managing the work is one aspect. So whenever any new company starts, the first thing that they have to manage is they have to manage, and that's what I learned also over a period of time, right? Though I was very good in my work, I was an individual contributor, you call it, right? I had maybe 200 people reporting to me. But then when you start off as a company, you come to know that you have to start building foundational blocks. तुम्हाला ब्लॉक्स फाउंडेशन पाहिजे. जर का तुम्ही मोठी बिल्डिंग 20 फ्लोअर्स 30 फ्लोअर्स बिल्ड करायचं, तुम्हाला फाउंडेशन प्रॉपर पाहिजे. जर का फाउंडेशन असलं तर तुम्ही काही करू शकत नाही. And that's what I understand in business also. You have to ensure a foundation. You have to ensure की तुम्हाला काय करायचं. तुम्हाला 10 फ्लोअर्स पाहिजे, 15 फ्लोअर्स पाहिजे, 20 फ्लोअर्स पाहिजे, या बुर्ज खलिफा पाहिजे, राईट? तुम्हाला काय पाहिजे. सो बुर्ज खलिफाचा फाउंडेशनल बॉक्स वेगळं असेल, 10 फ्लोअरचा वेगळं असेल, 5 फ्लोअरचं वेगळं असेल, राईट? So then depends on what you're building, your blocks will have to be defined. So for me, luckily in the past 7-8 years, those blocks are there. Right, transitioning or setting up the business requires these blocks to be in place, requires you to address that whenever any work comes in, your operating system is set in such a way that you only add value and you get certain things, and then the cycle starts taking over. It's like a machinery. Yes. The more efficient your machinery, the more you can churn in. Yes. Right? माझ्या वडिलांची पिठाची गिरणी होती. So I always used to tell why is it only for 10 kilos, 5 kilos or 20 kilos, and then after 40 kilos, then 30 kilos we had to actually shut off. ते गिरणी शट ऑफ करायचं असेल ते मशीनमध्ये ते टंक देन टंक मारायचं यू डोंट यू हर्ड राईट एवढं टाईम तेवढा तो टंक मारायचं असेल तर कुठंतरी काहीतरी प्रॉब्लेम आणि 1-2 आठवडे झालं की ते परत ते रॉक बाहेर काढायचं आणि यू हॅव टू अगेन टाकी यू कॉल इट राईट यू हॅव टू डू टाकी ऑल्सो ऑफ दॅट सो बिकॉज आय एम द सन ऑफ समबडी हू हॅज डन दॅट सो आय अंडरस्टँड इट सो दिस इज द सेम वे bigger I used to ask my dad why can't we do have 500 kilos in a day right typical बच्चा mentality right तो अब्बा बोलते थे दैट बेटे जितनी कैपेसिटी होगी ना मशीन की तुम उतना ही कर सकते हो हर इंसान की और मशीन की कैपेसिटी होती है उसी तरह ऑर्गेनाइजेशन की भी कैपेसिटी होती है आप किस तरह अपना साइकिल डेफिनेशंस करते हो किस तरह ऑर्गेनाइजेशन को प्लेस करते हो उस हिसाब से आपकी कैपेसिटी डेफिनेशंस और इनपुट्स आउटपुट पैरामीटर्स डिफाइन होते हैं
यस राइट मतलब एक वही टाइम पे आपका एक सेटल हो जाएगा या फिर आपको वो सेटल करना है
और हर चीज़ पर सेटल करना पड़ता है क्योंकि आपको हर प्रोसेस को डिफाइन करना पड़ता है चाहे आपके डिलीवरी प्रोसेस हो चाहे आपके HR प्रोसेसेस हो चाहे आपके फाइनेंशियल प्रोसेस हो चाहे आपकी रिकवरी प्रोसेस हो जो भी प्रोसेस हो आपको अच्छे से और आपको ही सब कुछ करना है स्टार्टिंग में आपको ही करना पड़ता इट्स नॉट दैट नोबडी एल्स विल डू फॉर यू
So next question is we always heard about one thing that is data leakage. Okay, so what is this like काय आहे नक्की हे डाटा लिकेज आम्हाला थोडं सांगा.
सी लिकेज इट्स अ व्हेरी जनरलाइज टर्म टाकीमध्ये जर का होल झाला तर तो लिकेज मीन्स वॉज लॉस ऑफ वॉट एवर इज स्टोर्ड वॉटर ऑइल वॉट एवर इज स्टोर्ड राईट दॅट्स लिकेज सिमिलरली डाटाची टाकीमध्ये जर का तुम्ही काहीतरी पंचिंग केलं तर इवन डेटा विल गो आउट right now what are the areas that it can go out from right so if your so what is the impact of water going away from the tanki water loss oil जर का तुमचा डेटा गेला बाहेर जर का लेट्स टेक फॉर इन्स्टन्स युअर डेटा इज गॉन युअर यूजर ID पासवर्ड इज समवॉट आई जस्ट टेक एन इनसाइट इट्स नॉट दैट इजी युअर यूजर ID फॉर द बैंक गोज आउट व्हाट इज द इम्पैक्ट money will go let's take for instance your Instagram account is compromised
I can't even imagine, as a social media influencer, I can't even imagine that.
So this is actually what happened to me. Yesterday I was attending one meeting over here. So I'm part of a larger BNI forum across the globe. Right? So we had attending a meeting and some colleague came up in ki Navid bhai, one of my, we need help and we need help in recovering certain things. Right? So I told that person that this is the protocol we have to follow. Right? So but then that thing was completely compromised. This is not the first time. I have so many ways that people have compromised. So जर का data leakage झाला तो it is a direct impact to your business. Direct impact to your business. Data leakage झालं जर का तुमचा server compromise झालं even a small amount. Let's say if you have a mobile, right? Now in a mobile nowadays who works without a mobile? Now I don't carry my laptop anywhere. I carry my mobile. Now everything is in the cloud. एंड बाकी का थोड़ा बहुत डेटा मेरे मोबाइल के ऊपर सो व्हाट आई नीड टू वर्क ईमेल यस व्हाट्सएप यस इंस्टाग्राम यस फेसबुक एवरी नो व्हाट इफ somebody comes and does a virtualization of this in terms of having a duplicate whatever you're doing whatever actions you're doing what if somebody can actually watch those actions clone what if somebody can watch those actions काय करणार तुम्ही then what is the impact so that is the impact to your answer your question your complete business will get impact, your individuals get impact, your financial securities will get impact, countries will start getting impacting.
Okay, in that case, just tell us about the why security is important. कारण आता बरेच लोक आहेत ज्यांना म्हणजे असं सिक्युरिटी काय आहे माहिती नाही पण आणि ॲक्च्युली त्यांना असं वाटतं की सिक्युरिटी का इम्पॉर्टंट आहे आम्हाला तर म्हणजे नाही गरज आहे या सगळ्याची असं की का आम्ही सिक्युअर करून ठेवू आमचा डेटा.
हा एक प्रॉब्लेम आहे. इंडियामध्ये ना इंडिया इज वन ऑफ द मोस्ट अर्ली अडॉप्टर्स ऑफ AI. लेट मी गिव तुम्हाला एक नंबर सांगतो मी अगेन टू अडॉप्ट अँड कम टू लेट्स टेक अ नंबर ऑफ 7 million or 70 million फॉर वर्ल्ड वाइड वेब इट टूक अराउंड 10 years 15 years or whatever time. AI adoption happened over a couple of months for that same number. In India, the adoption rate in India, the globe, whatever you want to call it, Indians are one of the most highest number of users for AI adoption, right? Because why? Purely because of the numbers. Early early stages, we did not have access to the rural areas. Right? They don't have access to internet. Phone nasla, काय नसलं तर you are completely out of, in a good way. But but then of course pros and cons both are there. So now, but now you tell me a place which does not have internet, right? Almost everybody has internet. So what happened in that case is, people have started using that internet everywhere. Means, I'll give you a very simple example. This building has a security guard, right? After the security guard, you have access control. After that, you have a lock. In spite of that, you have people inside.
And also CCTV.
CCTV is also there. Why do you need the security? Because you think this is important. This place is important. If this place was not important, it would not have mattered to you. The same goes for overall security. So this is physical security. What we are talking is cyber security, right? So how do we protect your assets? Now everything is cyber. When was the last time you went to the bank? Month ago, right? Now think about 20 years back. For any transaction that we had to do, we had to go to the bank to withdraw cash. ATM came up in 2001, 2002, 2003. Before that, everything, and until ATMs were completely disconnected. जर का तुमचं अकाउंट पुण्यामध्ये असेल, एकदा झालं माझ्याशी असं, माझं अकाउंट पुण्यामध्ये होतं आणि हैदराबादला जाऊन मी 15,000 काढले. दे वर डिस्कनेक्टेड. So it allowed me to take 15,000. I had only 3,000 rupees here. I took out 15,000 from there, from the same account. Right? The next day they came, unimaginable, right? Think about it. And then next day they called my home and they said, "Arey na kuni tari 15,000 tikadna kadla." Then my dad told him, no, Navid has traveled, he's removed 15,000. So please try to fill it back because your accounts are not synced. So you've actually overdrawn from us on a basic account, salaried account.
So now we are talking about cyber security, and since childhood we have seen CID and crime patrol. So त्याच्यामध्ये कसं एक पोलीस येणार, म्हणजे पोलिसांची टीम, जे एक टीम बसली आहे त्यांना जाऊन सांगतात की हा नंबर आहे, हा ट्रेस करा आणि शोधून काढा कुठे आहे लोकेशन ह्यांचं. सो याच्यामध्ये तुम्ही कधी वर्क केलं का, किंवा हा काही एक्सपिरियन्स आहे ह्याच्याबद्दल थोडं आम्हाला सांगा.
पोलिसांबरोबर तुम्ही काही काम केलं नाही. Yes, thankful. No, I don't know. No comments around that. But cyber security मध्ये आम्ही पोलिसांसारखं काम केलं. लाईक फॉर इन्स्टन्स, तुमचा जो इन्फ्रास्ट्रक्चर असेल किंवा क्लाउड असेल तर त्याला सिक्युअर करण्याचं आम्ही काम करतो. राईट? So that there is a very less probability of anybody attacking your environment. Right? So whenever you work on the environment, you have to do कि कहाँ से चोर आ सकता, what are the vulnerable areas. You call it as vulnerability assessments. Assessing your vulnerabilities. And then penetration testing, मतलब how deep testing of environment known as penetration testing. So we work very extensively on those part also, right? Then we work on fixing them also. Whenever we do vulnerability reports, we fix up them. So these are the things that we definitely work. With police, I don't have any experience.
Or any CID? No, nothing. Okay. So in your career, till the time, have you ever worked with the famous personalities, or any personalities like famous actor or famous celebrities?
No, I was lucky enough to meet a very famous singer. That was way back when we were working with Sony. So our company was working with Sony, and then that time I was shocked actually to see the singer by the name of Lucky Ali. Oh. I'm not sure if you heard his name, Lucky Ali. So he was one of my favorite singers at that time. So I was having coffee and then he was standing in front of me. So like shocked. I could not talk with him for at least 15 years. So we were associated with him. But other than that, what we do is we work purely on the enterprise segment. So on the enterprise segments, you have a lot of famous people over there, but they don't come in as a celebrity, so to speak. So we are working with common users.
Also, we have heard that you have some sites or some websites like where you can actually track the people who are attacking on the other people or other countries.
Yes, so there is this site, right? So it's known as a live threat map. So now if you look at this, right, what you see is in this, there are a lot of things that are flowing down, right? What you see this yellow, this is the entire globe, right? Attacks are going from from somebody from the United States hitting Russia, hitting India, hitting other countries, right? And what are they hitting on is also being shown very clearly. So see the red, the yellows within the. It's the attack.
So what is the color about it?
So there are various colors depending upon the type of attacks that are being made, right? So if you look at this, there are around 49,69,450 attacks that have happened only today. Okay. Now what is being attacked is something that you will come to know when you look at this. See, it gives the details. कितने attacks? Sri Lanka में कितने हो गए, इसमें कितने हो गए, ये कितने हो गए. It keeps on Israel हो गए, whatever. So all these now, what type of attacks are these? Are more technical terms. तो क्या अटैक करता है? What is red? What is red? What is yellow? This is the definition of red, yellow. Linux-based attacks, right? So all those are actually being told in this. Current. These are going on. This keeps on going on. See, this is going on. 54, 50, 64, 65.
आपण इमॅजिनही नाही करू शकत एवढं जास्त
लेवलचं अटॅक असतं हे.
काही दिवसांपूर्वी इंस्टाग्रामवरती एक मीम खूप व्हायरल होत होतं. सो त्याच्यात एक असा पिक्चर होता ज्याच्यामध्ये खूप सारे पेपर्स ठेवलेत आणि म्हणजे लोक असं म्हणतात की नो वन कॅन स्टील द इंडियाज डेटा बिकॉज इट्स इन पेपर फॉर्मॅट. ओके. सो जो इंडियाचा डेटा आहे हा सिक्युअर केला आहे, हा पूर्ण पेपर फॉर्मॅटमध्ये सिक्युअर केलेला आहे. सो कोणीच कोणीच चोरी करू शकत नाही असं म्हणणं आहे. तर मग आपण खूप फॉर ग्रँटेड पकडतोय इंडियन गव्हर्नमेंटला की म्हणजे डेटा सिक्युअर नाही असं म्हणतात की खूप ॲडव्हान्स आहे आपलं इंडियाचं. पण
नाही इंडिया इज गोईंग व्हेरी वेल ऑन सायबर सिक्युरिटी अँड लिमिटेशन्स. सो around 3-4 वर्षापूर्वी ना, they did not have very great laws 4-5 years back, but now they have actually taken up on themselves. They have good security measures in place, right? What is important is to understand ki law asla so automatically things will follow. So we got everybody has a data protection law. So now DPDL laws are very common in India also, right? And there is a big push coming from the government to protect your data. And government is saying have norms. So for companies, so there are standards everywhere, right? Like for medical companies, you have HIPAA standards. For somebody's whenever you swipe your credit card, you do online transaction credit card. How does your credit card number and details get protected? If I'm taking your details, right? So I need to protect that. How do I protect that? So that is my responsibility that I protect your card. That's why there are laws which tell me to protect your data. So then there are standards around it. You have PCI, you have governance, blah, blah. Of course, every standards will have improvisation over a period of time, but then Indian government has taken very serious steps towards it. Right? Just saying that there are stack of papers, we cannot take it. It's, I don't know how much truth in that statement is, but yes, as ते म्हणतात ना की जर का तुमचं टालं जिती स्मार्ट झालं तर चोर तो he gets smarter, अजून smart असतं. Yes, so that's how it is. So better your defense is, more advanced that attack becomes. So it's an attack versus defense that happens all the time.
In what different ways attackers can attack on our data? Like कोणकोणत्या वेगवेगळ्या टाईप्सने किंवा वेगवेगळ्या मार्गाने आपल्यावरती अटॅक म्हणजे आपल्या जे डेटावरती अटॅक्स होतात?
Very simple. See, for the common man, there are very common ways of doing it. And I'm sure you must have seen that, right? Many of my friends actually got buzzed because of this. So त्यांना credit cardचं scam असतं. That is one very common. Correct. The other scam that happens is you have a QR code scan. Right? So they give you a QR code. अरे तू 50 रुपये टाकले, 100 रुपये टाकले, 100 रुपये टाकले, 500 रुपये टाकले, आता ते तुम्ही QR स्कॅन करा आणि ते परत द्या मला. आणि गेलं की बँक अकाउंटवर फोन कॉम्प्रोमाइज झाला आणि सगळं गेलं. The other is recently there was an attack where a company lost around $300,000. Right? इंडियामध्ये 2.16 crores to be very precise, around that number, purely because of an email. Right? So these are the spam attacks that happen on your corporate networks, happen on your local networks. So that is something that we have to be very aware of, right? Yes. So how to protect yourself, how to protect your data. so many sessions going on everywhere. Recently, we had a session with the specifically around the crime branch investigative team over here, when in one of our friends, this thing, right, where they actually came and told us what not to do. Right, so awareness campaigns are continuously going on. So I think everybody should be aware what they need to do, or more focus on what they don't need to do, or what they need to avoid. Focus more on what they need to avoid, because that will save you money. Normally what we think, तुम्ही जर का अटॅक करता, तुम्ही काय असं होतं की कोणीतरी असेल काहीतरी, राईट, अ सिंगल पर्सन. नो सिंगल पर्सन नाही, दे वर्क इन ग्रुप्स, right? It's not a single person. They always work in groups. They always have a way of attacking. It's very complex, and as you keep on going up, it becomes more and more complex.
Even we have heard that if you're using charging, points or common charging cables in public places or local places, so यात सुद्धा chances आहेत का की
There are ways. Yes. ते केबल असतं ना, ते कॉम्प्रोमाइज असतं. Means you connect your cable and your phone can, and your phone get compromised, and your data is gone, because you have to give certain rights to the cable. You have to give certain rights on the port, and as you give them rights, the chance of compromise goes very high. वायफाय मध्ये जर का तुम्ही फ्री वायफाय मध्ये गेला, तर तो मॅन इन द मिडल अटॅक्स असतात तिकडं. You have something like man in the middle attacks. So you can, even that is something that can attack.
even using a local Wi-Fi.
Local free Wi-Fi. We think, are free Wi-Fi. No, don't use free Wi-Fi. Use your personal.
Anywhere, like in Dubai or in India.
No, don't use free Wi-Fi. Nothing is good for free.
That's true. Nothing is good for free. Yes, and in the same case, if the device is not working, जर डिव्हाइसच आपलं काम करत नाहीये, बंद डिव्हाइस आहे, बऱ्याचदा असं होतं की आपण मोबाईल किंवा आपल्या लॅपटॉप्स रिपेअर करायला देतो लोकल शॉप्समध्ये, आपल्या घराजवळ, किंवा असं पैसे वाचवायला, की आपण कंपनीमध्ये नको देऊयात, इथे स्वस्तामध्ये होऊन जाईल. सो त्यावेळेस काही म्हणजे असं होतं का की तिथून पण डेटा स्टील व्हायचं चान्सेस आहेत?
चान्सेस तर कुठनं पण डेटा स्टील व्हायचं असतं, पण जर का तो ट्रस्ट फॅक्टरवर डिपेंड करतं. Normally, whenever you give your mobile to a local shop or local person, you know that person. He knows you, he knows your family. So there is a trust, right? So it's also always a trade-off, right? Like for instance, when you get somebody as a house cleaner or house helper, trust, right? Now what you have done, you have given access to that person to the most intricate areas of a house. The most private areas of house. Similarly goes for that also. You give access to the most private data that you have. Your family data, your personal data. Now when you click photos and all, there are a lot of information in that photos. Where, what, how, location, timing. No, nowadays it always has that information. That photo has a tags, specific tags, and based on that tags, lot of information can be taken out. People can actually start monitoring you based on that, on certain informations. Right? So you have to be careful. So it's always a trade-off. Ease of use versus security. So it's always a fine trade-off. Kitna ye, kitna wo. How much you want to make it easy and how much you want to make it secure. There are some who go to extremes to this end, some go to extreme to this end, but I say it's a trade-off. How much you want to balance both sides.
We were talking about the fake credit card calls and all. तर आपण फेक क्रेडिट कार्ड कॉल्स बाबत बोलत होतो. तर बऱ्याच आय टी कंपनी आहेत, देर आर सो मेनी आय टी कंपनीज वही जे आपल्याला कॉल करतात, कस्टमर केअरमधनं आपल्याला कॉल येतो की ही आमच्याकडे स्कीम आहे, सो किंवा हे तुम्ही इथे तुम्हाला लॉटरी लागली आहे, किंवा यू हॅव सिलेक्टेड फॉर दिस particular thing, you will get the car, you will won the prize after this. So तर ह्यांच्याकडे हा आपला कॉलचा डेटा कसा जातो?
Data is available with many players. So normally the government has policies around data protection, so people have to abide by that. But then there are certain ways that the data is also stolen in many ways, by certain small players or middlemen, I would like to say, right? But I think somewhere or there we are also at fault when we are sending data. जसं फॉर इन्स्टन्स मोबाईल कनेक्शनसाठी तुम्ही अप्लाय केलं सिम कार्डसाठी, देन फिजिकल पेपर डॉक्युमेंट्स दॅट वी गिव्ह, राईट, दॅट हॅज युअर डेटा. दॅट्स वन एक्झाम्पल. वेन यू वॉन्ट टू बाय अ फोन, यू गिव्ह युअर डेटा. You want to apply for a credit card, you give your data. You give to the right people the data. But then the data that is given is normally given in physical form. Nowadays it's come in some virtual form. But that data is given by you. Now think about everybody, 140 crore people giving a data. So it's going to somewhere or the other for data gathering. If those areas are compromised, then that's how the data will flow.
Okay, in that case, our data is not safe like anywhere.
No, your data is safe with many players, but in some players it can happen that the data is compromised. People actually, sort of get that data in many ways.
Because nowadays we are, getting same numbers because government applied the rule for the numbers, contact numbers. They're repeating it.
Yes, so what happens is we actually have normally, if you look at the people who spam call you, right? So now any good smartphone will actually say this is spam.
Yes, right.
It will say it's a spam. Why does it tag as spam? Because there are many ways it actually, Truecaller also does, or I don't have Truecaller, but still it marks as a spam. This is a spam call, right? Or this is a marketing call.
No, right. With the red.
It tells me very now if I not depends on me if I want to pick it up or not. How does it do it? It actually has tagged certain areas, certain numbers, certain individuals, certain companies, and they marked it as it. Right? How do I mark it? Now let's say for instance you keep on getting repeated calls as spam, and you report that as a spam. Then some way it gets updated, and then that some way gets updated somewhere, and the central report correctly all to this, and then marks that as spam. So it's a similar way of how your reactions happen on the social network. जर का तुम्ही कुठनं तरी हे असतं ना रिपोर्ट विंडो तुम्ही रिपोर्ट करता डॅशबोर्ड रिपोर्ट करता तुम्ही की नो दिस इज नॉट राईट और this content or insensitive content, you mark it, right? That actually goes up, and the authority who's managing all of this says, no, let's keep this post down, or let's pull this post down, or let's pull this account down. So that way reporting can happen. Similar way it happens over here also in a similar fashion.
म्हणजे जेव्हा आम्ही इंस्टाग्रामवरती काही आता ॲज अ सोशल मीडिया युजर जर इंस्टाग्रामवरती काही पोस्ट येतात ज्याला आपण रिपोर्ट करतो.
Somebody reports it. It gets to some place. Now reporting means it gets to some authority.
This is also comes under data security.
This is under social media security angles. Social media, it has governance, mostly social media governance. So Instagram is responsible for it. Facebook is responsible for it. YouTube is responsible for it. They have their own laws and governance. They are responsible for it. For taking action on these things.
सगळ्यात महत्त्वाचा प्रश्न आपण आता तुम्हाला विचारूयात तो म्हणजे डार्क वेब. डार्क वेब म्हणजे काय? आणि असं म्हणतात ना की चोर को पकडने के लिए चोर के दिमाग से सोचना पड़ता है. म्हणून मग तुम्ही कधी डार्क वेब यूज केलंय?
Dark web is a very is a topic that I would not like to hinder too much on. Let's not. Dark web. So you have the internet or the World Wide Web. Then you have the dark web, and you have the deep web. So it's a different world altogether, right? It's where tracing is little difficult. Lot of activities which are not very legal sort of could happen there. I'm not saying they do happen. It could happen there, and it's a place that I would say people would like better to stay off, because it exposes a certain area of society that you would not want to get privy to. Like we have good things in society, right? So look at the good things and don't look at the not so good things.
It is just for the knowledge, like.
Yes, so it's
But because we have seen many web series nowadays. There are so many programs, Netflix series, and some short films.
Documentaries on it, right?
Yeah, but they are promoting it like people are using dark web and searching for something, like they are showing it like it is good to use the dark web and to catch someone who is already using dark web.
So dark web is an area where unless you have you have a great knowledge and you have a strong heart, normally would not go there, because there are things that are happening which are completely unimaginable, and I can't even say on this podcast. It's completely unimaginable. It's completely unethical, right? Certain things being sold over there which you cannot even think about. Yeah, so it's very, 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 very different. It's unreal. It's unreal in a way, right? It's unreal in a way, And as a family man, I've never even discussed this with my family. I never discussed with my children, right? So dark web is something, though I'm aware of dark web, I never discuss this as a subject. My child has asked me once or twice, but I've rubbed him off. I said, नहीं बाद में बात करते हैं.
खूप लोक आता ट्रेडिंग करतात, व्हर्च्युअली इन्व्हेस्ट करतात, गोल्ड इन्व्हेस्ट करतात. सो हा डेटा सिक्युअर असतो का आपला ट्रेडिंगचा, किंवा आपण व्हर्च्युअल जे गोल्ड खरेदी करतोय किंवा इन्व्हेस्टमेंट करतोय व्हर्च्युअली, तर ह्या सगळ्या डेटावरती अटॅकर्स काही अटॅक करू शकतात का?
Attackers will attack anywhere. What is stopping them from attacking, right? So, but it depends on who they're attacking. Now, who comes out first? Is the attacker very sophisticated, right? Is he not sophisticated? Do we have does he have the right tools to attack? Are there right protections in place? These are the questions which come up. Like, who's attacking whom at what place? Sometimes big conglomerates get compromised because of simple attacks. Sometimes large attackers cannot compromise a simple person. But what they do is, attackers को कुछ पैसा मिलना चाहिए ना, उनको कुछ मिलना चाहिए. Right, now let's take for instance, you have to understand this. So if I want to attack you, I have to have there has to be a certain sequence, a lot of effort. It's not easy. It's not that I just come in, attack and it's gone. No. There is a specific amount of sequence, a specific amount of effort, sometimes a month, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months. Right? So there's a specific sequence and work to it, depending on how secure you are. Right. Depending on how you're secure, what sort of mindset you have for it. So I will only do that if I know यार कुछ पैसा मिलने वाला है. Or if I'm going to get something of value. Right? If there's an abandoned house, nobody will go and attack that house. यार कुछ है ही नहीं इसके अंदर. So they will look at the value. The value proposition is there. What is they want out of it? Right? And then based on that value only, the effort will be put in, even by the attackers. So first they do a value analysis, and then based on the value analysis, they will go ahead and attack.
ओके, म्हणजे आपण सगळेच आता टेक्नॉलॉजी वापरतोय आणि आपल्या ज्या थर्ड पार्टीज आहेत त्यांना ॲक्सेस देतोय, आणि याच्यामध्ये बरेच आता नवीन नवीन वेबसाईट्स आहेत किंवा असे काही ॲप्लिकेशन्स आहेत ज्याच्यामध्ये काय होतं आहे की तुमचं टास्क जे आहे इझी करण्यासाठी, लाईक तुमचं मीटिंग शेड्यूल करण्यापासून ईमेल्स रीड करून त्याला रिप्लाय देण्यापर्यंत असे ॲडव्हान्स आपल्याकडे भरपूर सारे ॲप्लिकेशन्स बनवलेले आहेत. सो ह्या केसेसमध्ये आपण काय म्हणजे अवेअरनेस असायला पाहिजे लोकांमध्ये, आणि लोकांनी काय करू नये, आणि ह्यातनं पण अटॅक होऊ शकतो का?
आतनं पण अटॅक होऊ शकतं. इंटरनल अटॅक्स पण असतं आणि एक्सटर्नल अटॅक्स पण असतं. युअर कंपनी एम्प्लॉई कॅन ऑल्सो बी अ सोर्स ऑफ अटॅक अननोइंगली अँड नोइंगली. अदर देन एक्सटर्नल, इट्स नॉट दैट चोरी होती तो अंदर से बाहर से होती है, ऐसा नहीं है. अंदर से भी चोरी होती है ना. So it's the same logic that is there. So you can be attacking internal also. Now, when you're talking of technology, right? So technology has really gone to the next level, right? When the ease of use of technology has come in, right? I remember first meetings होते थे तो आमच्याकडे ते meeting notes साठी there used to be a dedicated meeting recorder, right? Around 10 years back, 15 years back, right? A meeting recorder assessor, and his job was only to record the meeting, document the meeting, and send the meeting notes. That was a dedicated job. A proper full-time FT one was that, of at least 4-5 meetings in a day, that he or her person used to do that. Right? Now think about this. You have fireflies, you have automations everywhere. Every meeting is recorded. Now in meetings you have sensitive and non-sensitive information. What if sensitive information goes out? What if your cloud is compromised? What if your servers are compromised? You know what your share value is, what decisions are being taken, board meetings. Nothing. So that has both ways, right? So there is a risk associated with every technology. You have to ensure that you're protecting the technology to the best possible way. That is your job. Otherwise there is a risk. There will and always will be a risk.
लॅपटॉप किंवा डिव्हाइस आपण यूज करतोय, सो त्याचा वेब कॅम इज ऑलवेज फॉलोइंग यू असं म्हणतात. इवन आता बऱ्याच जणांना म्हणजे असा एक्सपिरियन्स येतो की आपण काहीतरी बोलतोय, आता जसं आपण एकमेकांशी बोलतोय, बट सडनली जेव्हा मी माझा माझ्या झोनमधनं म्हणजे कॉन्व्हर्सेशनमधनं बाहेर येते. मी माझ्या फोनवरती कोणतंही इंस्टाग्राम, फेसबुक इमिडिएटली मला ते ॲड्स येतात किंवा इमिडिएटली त्याच्या रिलेटेडच मला कॉन्टेंट रील्समध्ये किंवा छोट्या छोट्या शॉर्ट्समध्ये हे दिसायला लागतात. सो ह्याच्यावरती काय आहे म्हणजे नक्की हे का
It
होतं?
is always capturing all your data. Now, where, how, what is being processed, what is not being, is totally unknown to you and me. हा डेटा जो आहे ना तो that data is always there. It's there with someone, right, at the back end. Of course, there are controls in place. Everybody cannot do anything, but then there is a certain amount of risk also associated with this. That's why there are certain people who actually who are very smart. What they do is they only want to use simple phones. Button wala. They don't want to use that. Why? I have people who have my security guys. They don't use WhatsApp. They use Signal for instead of WhatsApp. This is a Signal is more secure, so they want to use Signal as a alternate mechanisms, right? So these are always the trade-offs that are there for using technology. This is a hardware, and there could be certain things that could be compromised for you at the back end, but you're not aware of it.
तर आपण बऱ्याचदा बघतो की लोक ChatGPTवरती आपली इन्फॉर्मेशन डायरेक्ट पेस्ट करतात. ओके. आणि की कन्वर्ट दिस डेटा इंटू PDF और गिव मी वर्ड फाईल फॉर दिस और सिम्पली हे सॉर्ट करून देण्यासाठी. सो तिथून सुद्धा डेटा लीक होण्याचे चान्सेस आहेत का?
हो why not? ChatGPT is a global LLM, na? So it's a large language model which is there. It's an AI tool which is there. Now, whenever anything is there in the cloud, there are probability of attacks because you have a path for attacking. And if you have a path for attack, then once your path for attack, then depending on the attacker, what can be compromised, what cannot be compromised. We actually had instances in the past where certain companies' data got compromised because they were using ChatGPTs and all for their internal research work.
Yes,
Right? So that is always going to be there. That's one of the things of. So we call it in this world, connected is equal to hacked. You're connected means you're.
You have already given the access to the person.
It all depends on how good I am. That I want to be. Your fridge is connected to the IoT. Oh, my entire house is connected. Perfect. Sir, now I can come in and do whatever I want. If you don't have the correct measures in place.
So when did you start to work here in Dubai?
So Dubai, I started around a year back. We have a couple of collaborations that are going on. We did a couple of projects over here in Dubai. So this was around 1.5 year back that we started working over here. So though we have not set up a complete office in Dubai, we are looking as a probability and possibility of doing that. Dubai is a very promising market. One thing good thing about Dubai is, Dubai has done something that I don't think even US has been able to do. Right? So it has a very open mindset. It is very adapt to change. The people in Dubai are willing to talk, and they are always willing to listen. You give them something positive, they will do that. Right? So the environment that has been created by the local authorities or by the government is absolutely fantastic. Right? It's completely pro business environment. Anybody who has the will to do something, I think Dubai is a land of opportunities for them. You have a lot of opportunities and a lot of growth factors.
Yes, right. So how does AMS services work here in Dubai?
So right now, like I said, right, in Dubai we are working with a couple of partners. Right now we have a partner-friendly network over here. So we work with our partners, we do white labeling with them, and we deliver value for our customers together.
म्हणजे इंडियामध्ये सुद्धा वर्क करताय आणि आता दुबईमध्ये सुद्धा वर्क करताय. ग्लोबली अजून तुम्ही सिंगापूरसाठी वर्क करता. बऱ्याच लोकांसाठी तुम्ही वर्क करताय. सो हाऊ डू यू मॅनेज युअर वर्क लाईफ अँड वर्क कल्चर?
One thing is in today's world, right? Very important to do time management on all aspects. So while business, work, everything is important, you have to ensure you follow some pattern, right? Somebody likes to call that 8-8-8 pattern. 8 hours of work, 8 hours of personal, 8 hours of sleep, right? Some say 12, 6, 8, whatever. They change some things here and there. Somebody, right? So what do you do in the 8 hours? You do work in the 8 hours of personal time. You give your body, you give for your health, and you give your conscience, you give to your family. There's a division around it. For me, it is not that complicated. I start off the day very early in the morning, around 5:30 or so. So my days, yeah. So I start off the day. I don't sleep that early. That's one of the things on my to-do list. But time management is something that I think that I still need to implement and learn a lot around it, right? But that that time management helps to do major of the work, right? इंडिया टाइम जोन में होगा तो मैं इंडिया टाइम जोन के हिसाब से काम करता. शाम में क्योंकि कुछ यूएस के कस्टमर्स है तो यूएस टाइम जोन में थोड़ा स्ट्रेच करना पड़ता है, right? कुछ पार्टनर्स होते हैं ईमिया में, तो ईमिया और इंडिया तो थोड़ा सा आजू बाजू में ही हो जाता है, तो उसका उतना मसला नहीं होता है. तो देन वर्किंग दैट इज़ नॉट टू मच ऑफ अ चैलेंज.
So, do you have any office in Dubai?
No, no, I'm working in from partners right now. I don't have any office in Dubai.
Okay, so do you have any plans to start one?
Yes, I do have serious plans of starting up.
कधी करणार आहात म्हणजे
Next 6 months.
नेक्स्ट 6 मंथ्समध्ये आपल्याला AMS सर्व्हिसेस हे दुबईमध्ये बघायला मिळणार आहे. तर तुम्हालाही या डाटा सिक्युरिटीबद्दल काही माहिती हवी असेल आणि काही जाणून घ्यायचं असेल तर आपल्याकडे 6 महिन्यातच, म्हणजे व्हर्च्युअली तर ते काम करतातच आहेत, पण फिजिकल ऑफिस आपल्याकडे ते स्वतः आपल्यासोबत असणार आहेत AMS सर्व्हिसेसच्या माध्यमातून. सगळ्यात महत्त्वाचं म्हणजे दुबई इज नोन फॉर सिक्युरिटी, राईट? सो दुबई खूप म्हणजे एक स्ट्रिक्ट रूल आहेत आणि लोकांना आवडतं दुबईमध्ये राहायला, कारण की इथे सिक्युरिटी खूप टाईट आहे, खूप जास्त चांगली सिक्युरिटी आहे गव्हर्नमेंटची म्हणा किंवा ओव्हरऑल फॅसिलिटीज ज्या आपल्याला मिळत आहेत. तरीही इथे आपल्याला म्हणजे डेटा सिक्युरिटी कशा प्रकारे हे वर्क करतं आणि इथे काय काय म्हणजे वेगवेगळ्या टाईप्समध्ये डेटा सिक्युरिटी केली जाते.
डेटा सिक्युरिटी आहे ना, हा ॲक्च्युली ग्लोबल नॉर्म आहे. एव्हरीबडी हॅज देअर ओन सिक्युरिटी स्टँडर्ड्स. You have GDPR laws, you have GDPR policies, you have DPDA standards, right? So everybody has a specific standard for data security and law. दुबईचा अडॉप्शन आहे ना हा खूप it's very pleasantly surprising in terms of adoption for any technology. I was talking to a friend and said that Dubai is the only country in the entire world who actually has AI ministry for artificial intelligence. Now, who has it? Even US does not have it, right? So it's very nice that these adoptions have happened. So once you have something like that, automatically the focus will go over there because the governance is focusing on these things. It means you as a company has to implement it. It means the user is protected. So it flows in 3 ways. Only if the policies are there and the adoption is there within the companies, then the protection will happen at the user level, right? So that's how the whole governance model will go. And in Dubai, it is surprisingly, not surprising, pleasantly surprising, very nice. Very nice it is. The adoption is very nice, and the government is very serious about it.
Even we have heard that many of schools and restaurants over here, they are also using the data security to secure their own data, like restaurants, hotels. तर हे सगळं खरं आहे का?
तर very frankly speaking, I am not aware of that aspect as such. But looking at the way the policy adoption is there within the framework, I won't be surprised if there is. I believe there is, but I am not very sure about it.
ह्याचमधनं एक टर्म आहे म्हणजे डाटा जर लीक झाला किंवा एखादी कॉर्पोरेट जर कंपनी आहे तर त्यांचा डाटा लीक होऊ नये किंवा जर इन केस इन फ्युचर जर त्यांचा डाटा लीक झाला किंवा कोणी स्टोल केला, अटॅक झाला, तर त्यांना ह्याच्यातनं इन्शुरन्स वगैरे मिळतो का? असा काही टाईपचा इन्शुरन्स पण आहे?
सायबर सिक्युरिटी इन्शुरन्स असते. So yes, so now because the cyber security has gone to it's a risk to the environment. So insurance is nothing but risk coverage, right? So what happens if you have a risk to your life? What happens if you have a risk to a car? What happens if you have a risk of meeting an accident and medical expenses? What if your leg is broken? So this is a risk coverage, right? So what they do is they do risk management. Insurance do risk management. So cybersecurity attacks are also a risk to the organization. So now you have complete policies catered to this. You have complete cybersecurity policies who actually do complete risk management for you. For cybersecurity, what if your attacks? What if your brand is getting impacted? What if your data is lost? Of course, you have technology-wise, you have controls in place to ensure the data is not lost. Or whenever it is lost, it's at a minimum level. 4 hours ka data gaya, 24 hours ka data gaya, whatever. But then other than that, from a complete insurance perspective also, you have the right measures in place.
तुमचं स्वतःचं असं मत काय आहे ह्याच्याबाबत की लोकांनी डेटा सिक्युरिटी का यूज करायला पाहिजे? म्हणजे त्यांनी यूज करायलाच हवं अशा हिशोबाने?
Data security use is a de facto now. It's the norm. You have to use data security. You have to, if your data is important, right? So if your data is important, please use data security. Please use some standards. Please use some tools. Please be sure that you don't do anything really to let the attacker in or to give your data for free. Because if you think your data is important, it's your responsibility. It's your data, your responsibility.
लोकांनी AMS सर्व्हिसेसला का निवडावं?
Yeah, that's a good question. So AMS services, 2-3 things that are there. तो AMS services है, so हमने around 30 साल ये IT में काम किया, 30 years. So I have worked 30 years in IT. So I think I know a little bit about IT. I have a team who's very efficient. And the third thing is, we care about our customers. So customer का कुछ नुकसान होता तो we think हमारा नुकसान हो गया. So our customers' data, their customer security, customer business, we ensure that we add value to that business, which means we take it personal for us. So with this, that's why our motto is, right, we AMS services, we say technology with trust. That's our core branding value. AMS services, technology with trust or trust with technology, right? So that's what we believe in. That's how we act upon. So that's one of the things. We are not here for your money, but we are here to ensure that you grow and then we grow along with you.
Yes, right. So you have worked for the many fields, like different fields. So how it works for the different fields?
प्रत्येक फील्डमध्ये ना एक स्टँडर्ड असतं काही ना काहीसाठी. मेडिकल फील्डमध्ये हिप्पा स्टँडर्ड्स असतं, कार्ड्समध्ये PCI स्टँडर्ड्स असतं, normally you have ISO ISMS standards. So everybody has a standard. Dubai, there is a standard. India has a RBI governance law standard. There's a DPD standard over there. Dubai also has a data privacy standard. So everywhere there is a standard which is there. So you have to protect your data as per those standards and those laws. And then it will be flowed around you.
We have already talked about AI. So AI जे आहे ते तुम्हाला छानपैकी म्हणजे मदत करतं या सगळ्यामध्ये की काही अफेक्ट करतं तुमच्या वर्कवरती?
That's a very interesting question. AI is a tool that if somebody does not understand of using it today, he will, you're swimming against the tide, right? AI is the tide and you're swimming against the tide. Yes. Rather than that, you want to swim with the tide. So why? Purely because of physics reasons, right? So now when you're swimming with the tide for AI, so you also have to understand that if you're not fast in adoption, fast in understanding where you add value, how can you be at the top of the pyramid? How do you become relevant? Right. That's very important, right? How do you create tools so that you are relevant? Yes, AI is always a threat for everybody. Right now, if AI comes along with maybe robotics, now think about 24 hours one robot doing 20 people work. Right? So no, don't have complete AI enablement over there. But if it happens, right? Instead of you and me sitting over here, we'll actually have robots talking with each other. Complete, right? It might happen. So that's the sort of adoption which is there. It's scary up to certain way, but you have to adopt and you have to use your intelligence to understand how you will bring value with that AI rather than treating AI as an enemy. You take it as a friend and see how you can use it for your benefit.
जर दुबईतले लोक आहेत, आता तुम्ही दुबईमध्ये पण सर्व्हिस देताय, सिंगापूरमध्ये देताय, इंडियामध्ये देताय, दुबईमधल्या लोकांनी तुम्हाला कॉन्टॅक्ट कसा करावा जर त्यांना ह्या सर्व्हिसेस घ्यायच्या असतील तर?
So they can email us at sales@amsservices.in. They can visit our website www.amsservices.in, or they can reach me on my phone number. So my phone number is already on my website. Inquiry number is there. They can fill up the inquiry page, and our sales guys will be more than happy to help everyone.
जर तुम्हालाही AMS सर्व्हिसेसकडनं तुमचा डेटा सिक्युअर करायचा असेल तर ह्या सगळा डेटा म्हणजे त्यांची सगळी इन्फॉर्मेशन आपल्याला खालती डिस्क्रिप्शनमध्ये दिलेली आहे. तर तुम्ही डिस्क्रिप्शनमधनं जाऊन तुम्ही त्यांचे डिटेल्स घेऊ शकता आणि त्यांना कॉन्टॅक्ट करू शकता. आता जाता एक सगळ्यात महत्त्वाचा प्रश्न मला तुम्हाला विचारायचा आहे. ॲडव्हान्स आपली टेक्नॉलॉजी आहे, त्यानंतर सगळेच लोक कुठल्या तरी नवीन फील्डमध्ये काम करायचा विचार करतात. ओके, सो एव्हरीवन वॉन्ट टू एक्सप्लोर न्यू थिंग्स. असं झालं की न्यू जनरेशन्सचं असं आहे की मला नवीन गोष्टी एक्सप्लोर करायच्या आहेत, मला नवीन गोष्टींमध्ये माझं करिअर करायचं आहे किंवा फील्ड करायचं आहे. रेग्युलर 9 to 5 जॉब त्यांना नाही करायचं आहे. सो जे न्यू बीज आहेत, फ्रेशर्स आहेत आपले, ह्या सेम फील्डसाठी, डेटा सिक्युरिटीच्या फील्डसाठी तुम्ही काय ॲडवाईस द्याल त्यांना?
डेटा सिक्युरिटी किंवा सायबर सिक्युरिटी करायचं असेल तर देर आर मेनी थिंग्स दॅट दे कॅन डू. द फर्स्ट थिंग दॅट आय से इज फर्स्ट अनालाइज what you like the most, right? Because if you don't like what you're doing, there is no point in doing it. The only reason why we are able to survive is because I love what I do. Every day I'm excited by the idea of going to work, because if I did not like, मैं जाऊँगा नहीं सुबह में काम करने के लिए, right? It becomes a brag. So first, love what you're doing. You love your job. It doesn't matter if it's a continuous job. Second thing is understand where you will be after a certain period of time. Right, so look at your short-term goals, look at your long-term goals. What do you want to be? Do you think this will help you reach there? Right. If it helps you reach there, then there are many things in the path that you can do. You can do courses around it, you can do certifications, you can do technical hands-on. Every internet now is literally free. Free certifications are literally free. Other than a few, everything is there on the web. If somebody comes and tells me, sir, मेरे को मिल नहीं रहा है, तो I get very upset with that guy. I said, it is not possible. And I show him, see, this is free, that is free. You can always start off. A person who has, where there's a will, there's a way. And today it is more true. Because everything is over there. What do you want? It's there. Coding is there. Coding is free.
Yes, right.
You don't need to code. You just need to guide AI to tell you the code. Yes. It'll give you the code. Now, what else do you need from it? Right, so this is what the whole thing is, right? So you need to just ensure that you have a long-term plan, short-term plan, but the first important thing is whether you want to do it or not.
Okay, so from your perspective, is it a good option for a career?
Yes, it's a very good option, because cybersecurity, see, understand one thing, the more the devices coming on the internet with the OTs and the IoTs and everything coming into place, right? The more the OT or devices coming in, your threat landscape, we call it, right? It keeps on increasing over a period of time. Today, let's say for instance, we have 100, 10,000, 10,000, 15,000, million, 10 million, right? So, more the landscape, more the protection it will need, na? So who will give that protection? AI will not come and give the protection on those. You need people who can think, make AI work. So somebody who's on top of it, and if you think you can add value, if you think you can make a product that can make AI work, go for it. Become a millionaire. It's very easy that way.
That's it for today. So खूप छान वाटलं तुम्ही आज आमच्यासोबत आलात ह्या कार्यक्रमामध्ये. आम्हाला एवढं छान छान म्हणजे नॉलेज दिलं डेटा सिक्युरिटीसाठी. आणि मला असं वाटतं की बरेच लोक आता अवेअर झाले असतील ह्या सगळ्या गोष्टींमुळे, की खूप लोकांना माहिती नव्हतं की डेटा सिक्युरिटी काय आहे नक्की आणि का महत्त्वाची आहे. तर आम्हाला त्याचा मागचा इम्पॉर्टन्ससुद्धा कळाला आहे. शिवाय वेगळ्या वेगळ्या गोष्टीसुद्धा कळाल्या ज्या आम्ही खरंच मानत होतो किंवा नव्हतो, किंवा काय आम्ही करायला हवं विथ आवर डेटा टू सिक्युअर इट. तर खूप खूप धन्यवाद, तुम्ही आज आलात. खूप छान वाटलं तुमच्याशी बोलून. तर मंडळी, पुन्हा एकदा भेटूयात आपण पुढच्या एका नवीन भागात, एका नव्या व्यक्तींसोबत, एका नव्या बिझनेस सेटअपसोबत. पाहायला विसरू नका आपला कार्यक्रम दुबई डाक. धन्यवाद.